See Red Nation, Bulls come through with the dub over the Toronto Raptors. Let's dig into a couple of things that went right, some things that went wrong on this latest victory. Starting now. Listen, if you're new to the channel, it's your boy P.Kidd. This is the Windy City Breeze. You know who we are. You know what we do. You know what you clicked on. Let's get in tune with it. Listen, the Chicago Bulls find themselves in a very up and down game. We sat there and opened up this game, put with a goose egg, 2-16. Then we go on what's the equivalent of a 40-17 run. Just for the Toronto Raptors to make the same run on the back end and for us to be down, with most people thinking that we're going to take the L, until DeMar Timothy Rosen decided that, hey, he's not going to take the L. We finna sit there and win this game. And not only did he do that, he came through in a clutch all the way down the stretch. And with some assistance, Alex Caruso knocking down that three for us to get this game. Now, listen, it wasn't a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination, but there are a few things that we can learn from this. One, we absolutely now can see the direction the Chicago Bulls are trying to go. And that should give you, it actually should make you feel good. It should give you something to look forward to as they start to actually gel and as they get better throughout the season. I didn't expect the Chicago Bulls to come into this particular game or enter the season dominating. I didn't think they would dominate. I think this was something as they were making a shift in how they approached the game that you were going to see some ebb and flow with. That being three-point shooting. The Chicago Bulls took nearly 43-point shots in this particular game. Now, we live called every game last season. We didn't take a whole lot of three-point shots. Some games we took less than 20, maybe 20 to 25. Definitely not over 30 for sure. That just wasn't an earmark of our particular game. Second game of the season, we're taking nearly 43, 39 to be exact. Now, we didn't hit a lot of them. However, that should be expected. We weren't a team known for our three-point shooting. And how do you start actually making that a weapon? How do you actually start putting that in your repertoire? You have to take the threes. And so good teams will have bad and poor shooting nights. This was just our night. But that should give you something to actually look forward to and give you a sense of hope for this particular team. We shot 36% from the field, if I'm not mistaken. We definitely shot under 40. We definitely shot under 30 from three. The Toronto Raptors shot 47% from the field. Now, they also didn't shoot well from three, but 47% from the field, and we came out with the W. That's something, again, no matter how it may have looked, something to actually look at and something to actually feel good about if you're a Chicago Bulls fan. We actually got to see DeMar DeRozan again, king of the fourth. I know people will say, well, we can't always depend on – that's what your stars do. You should be able to depend on your stars. When you need to get these buckets, you have two people who should be able to get that. Zach wasn't having a good game. In fact, he had a very, very, very poor game. Less than 10 points. He looked like he was in obvious pain. It just wasn't a good one for him. And unfortunately, this seems to be like the theme for Zach since in the last couple of seasons, where things kind of start off slow. And you really want him to actually, pick up and do better. But such is life, right? It didn't happen. But that's what you paid DeMar DeRozan for. That's what you got him here for. And you know what? DeMar even had a moment on the bench where he was definitely showing some frustration of them wanting to get it together. And that's what he did. He went out there, put the team on his back, and he did that flex on him. He did it. That's what you want from your guys. That's what you want from your big man. That's what you want from your stars. And guess what? DeMar is one of, if not the star of our particular team. So he definitely held it down. One of the things I also wanted to look at that gave me some, it definitely gave me something to look forward to was the performance of Torrey Craig and Kobe White. I got to give Kobe White his flowers. 17 points, I believe, 8 assists. He was out there cooking. He was out there being aggressive. He made plays when we really needed him. And then even when it wasn't really falling, he actually still looked like he belonged. Played good defense, solid defense, didn't foul. I mean, sometimes against that matchup against Scotty Barnes, he got cooked. But, I mean, there's a big size difference there. There's nothing you can really do anything about. But he didn't make any unnecessary fouls. He didn't do anything. He didn't put us in a situation where He made a mistake, and we absolutely can pinpoint Kobe White making that mistake and us costing us a game. He didn't do that to himself. He put himself in a bad situation, and that's what you like. That's what you want to see from Kobe White. And I, again, someone who's been very critical of him, would just want to say and give him his flowers. I appreciate the evolution of his game, and I'm definitely rocking with him. It's good to see Kobe White actually get his flowers now. Glad to see he's evolving. Hope to see the rest of the season. Now, Torrey Craig has absolutely, in 2 games, come out and been aggressive. He's actually like he belonged. Solid defense. Him, Alex Caruso as well. That is the plus side, right? It's a lot for us to sit there and actually look at. Again, Alex Caruso talking about taking those threes. He hits that shot for us to get that for that win. Like, again, games are evolving. People are starting to step up. Now here comes the downside. I got to give you at least one. Patrick Williams was not that guy to step up. Now, I know this was probably just solely performance-based, but at the end of the day, when you go out there and you say that you feel like you deserve XYZ money and this, that, and the other, you have to perform like it. You got to step up. Now, I don't know if the numbers are true. I don't know if the expectations of $200 million are real. It bet not be. Like, he bet not in a million years think that that's what he's worth or what he's going to get, especially when he's been given starter minutes at times when a lot of his contemporaries hasn't, and he puts up the same numbers as them. I mean, seriously, no. Like, get a grip. Whoever his agent is, if anyone is foolish enough to give him $200+ million, I would love to sit. In fact, hey, listen, send him my way. I got a bridge to sell him because ain't no way in the world ain't worth $200 million with $20 million in his pocket. He not. But if that's what he thinks he's worth, then guess what? In situations like this, you need to be one of the guys. You need to be on the floor. You need to show me. And if you can't show me, if you can't be reliable, if you can't show up, if you're not going to sit there and take advantage of those opportunities, if you're going to play like trash, guess what? Then you're going to sit there and get trash like money. Now, trash money nowadays is still $20 million a year, $15 to $20 million a year. You know, he finds himself in a 15, let's say over $60 to $70 million. Hey, listen, that's good money for someone of his caliber, because we know that the all-stars and the elites are making 200 over 4, 200 over 5, 250. Like realistically, he's not worth a max money. He ain't showing you max money talent. He ain't giving you max money. He don't have max money potential. And that's kind of hard to say. I don't want to say he doesn't have max money potential, because anybody can sit there and change their game and up their game. Kobe White just did it. So anyone can do that. But guess what? Kobe White also wasn't asking for $200 million either. So I hope that's one of the things that I want to see sure up. Another thing, Billy Donovan. There's some situations in this game where I absolutely was like, what the heck is Billy doing? Billy, why are we making this particular? Why are this set of guys on the floor? This didn't really work. Why are we doing that? Billy, you need to adjust faster. Now that's me being armchair GM. That's me being armchair coach. Things that any other. But guess what? We all can see it. Your players are frustrated. Something that you're doing is not working. This was a win that happened in spite of, not because of, my coach. And I need to start stringing along wins because my coach has the right people in place. He puts the right people in place at the right times to do the right things, to get the right results. That's what needs to be happening. And I can't sit there and say definitively that's what's happening. That's a problem. That's a problem. At the end of the day, AK, hot seat. Want to know why? Well, not hot seat, but AK, this is a situation where if you have the power to, you need to be evaluating your head coach. I'm not someone who's going to sit there and be of the ilk that Jerry's going to sit there and say, you can't fire this coach this entire time. I know Jerry runs a lot of his teams differently. I know historically he has, but guess what? Times are changing. Tides are turning. At this particular point in time, things are going to have to be done differently if you want to compete in this game. And we have fired coaches before. We fired Jim Boylan and we still have to pay him. There is whatever secret extension he has. Billy Donovan's not going to be here 10 years. I know my boy Pat does it. Love Pat to death. I don't believe Billy's going to be here 10 years. If Billy's here 10 years, that means AK has been gone for a while. It don't make sense. It's not going to happen. And at the end of the day, you have to look at the results on the court and say, hey, I have the talent. I don't have the right person at the helm to get this. Something's got to shake. And at a certain point, it's either going to be the GM or it's going to be the coach. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the coach. That's just how it works. Now, Has it always worked like that with us? No, it has not always worked like that in Chicago. I get that. However, when you have other people who are competent, other people who know what they're doing, other people who actually want to win, and whose reputations and stuff on the line, those hard conversations start happening faster. And then it becomes very clear. You know when it's going to be clear? If AK walks away. If AK walks away and Billy Donovan is here, 110%, I'll take Pat out. Whatever you want, dog, is on me. I was wrong. It's a bad take. But until then, I don't believe that that's the situation. And I firmly believe that that is going to be something that shifts well before AK has to make a decision, or the Jerry makes a decision on AK, or AK makes a decision for himself on his reputation. That's something that's going to shift, and AK is going to do that. At the same time, AK, you also have to look at the potential of the talent that you have in this particular team. Some of the people that you brought in here are not going to work out. Javon Carter is not a good player, in my opinion. He wasn't a good player when you when you traded for him or signed him, whatever the situation was. And on top of that, rolling with continuity with P. Will is just not the way to go. So there are going to have to be some moves made this particular season for us to be in competitive, because guess what? That's what you did in Denver. I need you to do it here. But again, this may be a little bit overreaction. I really don't think so. I think this is some of the same conversation we had from last season, which is a shame. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is the team we have. This is what we've inherited, and this is what we have to roll with. But if you're a fan like me, you know we're going to keep speaking about this until we see some changes. But again, I want to hear what your thoughts are, man. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, put it in the chat. I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.